Good morning, Jay. How you doing today?
Doing well. Good morning, Steve. Good to be here.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate. What happened was I came across the article in Bloomberg where you were one of the people featured, and the tariffs are just very, very confusing to me. I'm sure to a lot of people, a lot of the audience. But if you don't mind, why don't you first tell us about your business and the worldwide effect of the business, and then we'll go more deep into the tariffs.
Sure. Well, I'll try to keep this brief and give quick context. Laitram was founded based on an invention of my father's to automate shrimp peeling. So he invented a shrimp peeler when he was a boy. He worked in his father's plant down in Houma, Louisiana, which was a hand-peeled shrimp and packing operation, and came up with the invention. They founded a company in '49, and from its early days, we were forced to be a bit of a global business. So very small, but we were always in the business of making a machine and trying to peel shrimp wherever the need was and wherever the economics made sense, globally.
Sure.
From that background, we've grown to where we still are in that business, and we've added different product lines to that business, but we've also added numbers of other businesses, all based on internally generated inventions, and they're all global. So today we have 2,500 employees located in sales are global, so that's 30 plus different countries, but assembly operations and support service operations in 7 or 8 countries around the world, including China, Brazil, and then obviously the European markets as well as the U.S.
Okay, and the type of, if you don't mind, the type of, say, equipment, products that y'all sell worldwide.
So the biggest business would be what I'll call modular plastic conveyor belting, which is Lego pieces for conveyor belting. So we will sell our unique technology. We were very small, but now we've grown, and now we're as big as we're the largest. We're the global leader in really all of our sectors, but you have to look at the niche we're in. So we'll sell conveyor belting to equipment makers, and those equipment makers will be located all around the world, and many of them will also be global. They'll be exporting and importing. And then we also make high-speed sorting equipment. So if you think of a UPS, so if you think of a high-speed sorting line at a post office or a UPS or Amazon or wherever, we would make equipment for that. We make shrimp peelers still. We make shrimp cookers and other processing equipment. And almost all of the equipment side uses, globally sourced complex, products where you really have to be careful about the form and the fit and the function of each component. And anytime you make any change, you can have a quality or a fit or an integration problem. So as you start to deal with the complexity of that, you deal with supply sourcing that gets quite complex. And that's true for us, and it's true for all of our customers at every stage along the way. So I don't know if that gives a quick overview.
No, it does. Absolutely. So I read that you would describe yourself as a free trader.
Yes, and I would describe myself as a free trader philosophically because I think that's what drives prosperity that we take for granted. If you look at why automobiles are so good today, it's because the U.S. Companies face competition globally, and that's just one micro example. But we live with the best source product for product service value. We live with that competing from around the world. So that's part of what makes our industry so amazingly productive, and how we get such a fantastic array of consumer goods, that everyone just takes for granted in their standard of living. So when you look at why why the prosperity is so phenomenal in this country and why a dollar buys so much. It's because of all of that efficiency in the global game. I don't then say that everybody buys in and plays by the same rules, and I'm not naive to the problems. I just think that the only answer to that is to continue to work to try to get more and more free markets, because that's what benefits people. It does cause big dislocations. There's no doubt about that, but that's true, and even more so with automation, which causes even more dislocations. So both are factors in prosperity. We came from the horse and buggy days, and now we a lot of those businesses don't exist, but consumers benefit from that, and industry changes and innovation changes. For us personally, so it also aligns with what we do. We're probably historically, for at least the last 5 years when I checked, we generated more U.S. patents at Laitram than any other company in Louisiana. So we are innovators, and we're constantly innovating and trying to stay ahead, and we face global competition, and we need to be on a level playing field to compete globally. And if we don't compete globally, sure enough, we'll end up losing even domestically. So that's a big part of what motivates us to lace up our sneakers and show up with our best game every day.
So in your industry or industries, who would you say is not playing on a level playing field? Who is tilting it?
Well, I don't know enough about all of the different aspects. I can explain how things work for us.
Sure.
But I think the lack of rule of law, consistent, predictable law in countries, for example, China, is a real issue. The lack of protection of intellectual property, but people think of that as American. It's not. It's somebody's property. It's a particular company that can be over there. And in our case, it's our property, and we have to have the brains not to disclose or give it away in a way that doesn't make sense for us. Now, I